Hey, do it yourself with Burgess back again on a cold night. We've got a bunch of stuff to change on this Honda. It's a 2007 V6 Honda Accord 3.0 VTEC. So the alternator went out because the valve cover is leaking onto the alternator, shorted out the alternator. So we have to change the valve cover gaskets, the alternator, and as long as we've got everything apart, I'm going to change the spark plugs while we've got these covers off. And it's got about 130,000 miles on it, so we're going to change the timing belt. When you change the timing belt, it's recommended to change the water pump because it's behind the timing belt. So we're going to change the water pump, the timing belt. We're going to change the tensioner and the pulleys that are back there. These are the valve cover gaskets. When you change those, we're going to change the grommets that go with the valve covers for the coils, where the coils go through. We've got these other grommets. I'll show you where those go. Spark plugs, Red Bull, parts cleaner. We're going to get into it here. So I'm going to do this in 3 videos. We'll do the valve cover gaskets in one. We'll do the alternator in one. And we will do the timing belt with the water pump in a separate video. I'll try to tie them all together the best that I can. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so in this video we're going to be changing the alternator. Alternator's right down there. So what happened was the valve covers were leaking right down onto that alternator and it shorted it out. So we just did a video replacing both valve covers front and back and the spark plugs. We've had all this motor apart, so we just put it back together, and I'm going to show you the alternator. So first thing we're going to do is get this plastic cover out of the way. Just these 2 screws right here, plastic. Get them with a flat head. This cover up and out of our way. Now you'll need a 10mm. Oh, by the way, battery still disconnected from the last job, so 10mm wrench, disconnect the battery. Right down here, this bracket and bolt sit right here to take this tank off. We're going to take that tank off, pull this tube, get this whole thing right out of our way. It's only one bolt that holds it in, 10mm. Set that to the side. Next is going to be the fan. Unplug it right here. I can do it with one hand. That unplugged. I'll write down, see if I can get at this. Right down here, there's a plastic clip where it attaches to the fan. Let's see if I can get it on here. Right there, we're going to grab that with our pliers and pull this clip out. I just used these pliers right here, angled needle nose, and I was able to grab it and pull it through. It's just got, I won't be able to get it on this video, it's just a little compression, just like this one here on top. I just squeeze this back side with the pliers, squeeze this end, and then I pull it through the other side. Now if you look below that little metal brace that we just took that connector off of, down past that you'll see this little wire harness piece. If I can get it to zoom in, there it is. The little hole, that's a little lock. We have to disconnect that lock and we'll be able to pull that connector out of there. Let's see if I can get a better view of it. Right there. Can't get it to focus, but it's that one right there. I kind of got it for you right there. There's a little tab. Push that tab over with the screwdriver, and with your other hand, pull that clip off. Way down in there. See how I've got my hand back there pushing down on it? I'll need my other hand now. And now I've got it free. Just tuck that out of the way to the side. Now we're going to need 10mm to release these 2 bolts for the fan, and there'll be one on the bottom. We won't have to take it all the way out. You only have to loosen it and you'll be able to slide the fan up and out. I've come down to the bottom side. This is the bolt that's on the bottom. You don't have to come underneath to get it. It's easier if you have your car jacked up. I do have this one up on jack stands, just to make it a little easier for me to get under it. But I'll have to loosen this one right here. It's a 10 millimeter. You might have to bust a little rust off of it to get on there. And this one does not have to come all the way out. You should be able to just loosen it and then slide that up and out. You may have a plastic shield here, splash shield underneath, that you'll have to take out with some clips. There'll be all these little plastic clips here that you'll need to pull out. Now that we've got all the bolts loose here up top, I'm going to take them out. This fan will slide up and out. Now that we got all the clips out of the way, disconnected. Alright, next we're going to slide this reservoir for this power steering up and out of our way. It slides right up off of this bracket. We'll just tuck this back up underneath this hose up out of the way so we can get on this tensioner right here. It'll be a 15 millimeter. See if I can get some light down here so you can see. The tensioner pulley right there is a 15 millimeter, and we'll push that back so we can release the belt. And I try to do this with one hand. I hope you can see here. I'm on that tensioner with my 15 millimeter. I'm just gonna push it back to release pressure on this belt. If you're changing the alternator, all you need to do is pull it off that front alternator pulley. If you're doing your water pump, or your water pump and your timing belt, you're gonna have to take the whole belt off. First, we need to remove this harness for the alternator. First thing is this 10 millimeter bolt right here. Get that up out of the way. And we've got two boots here, one here, one here. This has a 12 millimeter under it. Once you get this boot peeled back, I have to release that 12 millimeter bolt. Behind here we'll have a clip. I have a little push button tab right here to push it in, pull that out. So we'll get my 12 millimeter, we'll get that one out. Now this 12 millimeter can get moved out of the way. Now we should be able to move this whole harness up and out of our way. Let's flip it around there. There, now we have access. And now that we've got our harness out of the way, we can go down here, get on this 14 millimeter bolt right at the bottom of the alternator. And it's hard to see on the video here. Right in the bottom, under that pulley. In kind of a tough spot. Right there. Just want to take this quick minute. If you guys hit subscribe for me, man, if you guys are learning anything, I'm hoping I'm getting some knowledge out there, show you guys how to work on stuff your own self so you can save some money. It's expensive to hire a mechanic, so the more you can do by yourself, the better off you're going to be, especially if you're on a budget like me. So man, if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, that'd be great. Next we're moving on to 12mm bolt right here. 12mm on the next one. Once you get this bolt out of here, the last one to remove the alternator is going to be right there where my finger's at. This one right there holds it on that bracket. Once you take that one off and this one, it'll remove right out. Alright, this guy's being a little stubborn, so I have to apply a little pressure with a pry bar under there. It's wedged in good, but a little pressure came out. Alright. So this alternator was smoking when the car was running. I think it was because the valve cover seal was leaking and dripping right onto it. And I'm pretty sure that that's what shorted it out. Not 100%, but I know it was smoking. And when I tried to charge the battery with the car off and everything, it began to smoke again. So it was shorting inside here. So now that we got it out, we'll go ahead and reverse the process and put the new one back in. Alright, I've got my top two bolts in right here. Those are 14mm, and the bottom one's 14mm. The top two are 12mm. The bottom one is going to go torque to 33 foot-pounds. 33 on the bottom one and 16 on the top two. $33 on the bottom, 16 on the top two. Now that we've got everything back together, it's time to get our belt back on. Alright, when you guys are putting your belt back on and you're weaving it all through, double check, make sure that your belt is sitting on all the pulleys correctly. If it's not, you're going to be buying a new belt as soon as you turn your car on. It's going to chew it right up. So we're going to push this. We're going to push this tensioner over, see if I can get this shot. Get this belt on. Once you think you've got it on, go back through everywhere and double check. Make sure that you've got it on all your pulleys the right way. I know it sounds silly, but it'll make a big difference. See, the back one. Let's see if I can get the shot. It's not sitting on that pulley down the crank, so I'll have to loosen it up and do it again. Make sure you got them all sitting correctly. If I would have started the motor up with that right where it was sitting, I probably would have been putting a new belt on. I double checked it. I've got them all where they go. And now we can go to the next step. Now we've got our belt on. Now we're going to put our alternator wires back on. We've got one here with a 12mm nut. Alright, I've got that one on. We'll put the boot over that. Now we've got the clip that goes back on the alternator right here. Make sure that clicks, pull on it a little, cover it back up with that boot. We've got to put our three, let's see, no, we just got the one here, this one here. Alright, this nut and this one were also 8.7 foot-pounds if you were curious. And now we're going to put our cover back on. Remember to put this clip through the hole into our cover with our flathead screwdriver. Going to tighten these back up. Now we've got to install our fan. Now remember, the bottom of our fan slides down in that bolt that's down on the bottom. Just have to line that up. Then once we have that, we've got our two bolts that go on the top. Remember, we've got to clip our small clip down there on the bottom of the fan. Just use some pliers and slide it on into place. Make sure you hear it click when it goes on there. Make sure it's on all the way. Then we've got our fan plug. Right here. Make sure it clicks. And these are 8.7 foot-pounds. Be sure you got your petcock closed all the way. You could probably do this before you install the fan if you don't want to crawl back under, but we have to come under anyway to put our splash shield back on. Okay, we've got our splash guard in place. Got our 10mm bolts on each side. Up around behind the tire, everything's in place, ready to go back to the top side. Now we've got our reservoir, our 10mm bolt right here. Get that back into place. Get it started by hand. Put our hose back on and just tighten it down with your ratchet. I used a ratcheting wrench, it was easier. Let's make sure that our power steering reservoir is clipped back on. So all of our hoses and everything are out of the way. Make sure nothing moved. Looks good. Now we got to put our tire back on. 19mm. Alright, we've got our tire back on. We've got it to 80 foot-pounds. All that's left now is to put the radiator fluid in. Make sure that you get the right coolant for your vehicle. I know now there's so many different ones out there. You got to make sure that you put the right one in for your seals and everything. So what we're going to do is fill this up, then start the car, let it warm up and run, and then when the bubbles start to come out and it takes the fluid down, we'll top it off until there's no more bubbles, and then we're good to go. And that's it. I hope I was able to help you guys out with these videos. If you learned anything, if you were able to fix your car, I hope you hit subscribe. We really need you guys to subscribe to this channel because I got to keep putting these videos out, but I'm not going to do it if I'm not getting subscribers. So please, so I can help you guys out, please give me a subscribe. Throw a like in there too if you'd like. Do it yourself with Burgess. Thank you very much.